sitting here in your tornado safe spot right now. As we zoom in a little bit closer to that rotation, it's come a little bit closer to the town of Chewy. So I would say between Chewy and Chance, it looks like Chewy may actually get brushed by this on the south to southeast side of it. This is the area we're watching where we have that tornado debris, which we've continued to watch really over the last half an hour, 45 minutes to an hour now as it's made its way up from Sequoia County. So around Chewy, that's where we have that area of damage and likely going to be crossing Chewy Road here very shortly. So if you're in Chewy, if you're in Chance, you need to be in your safe spot. If you're along Highway 412, I would be getting to that point real quick as this tornado continues to make its way and doesn't really show any signs of slowing down. James?
Okay, and the good news is from the southern storm moving up into Latimer County, that tornado warning has been canceled a little early because the weakening rotation. What has not been canceled, this tornado continuing to churn through northern Adair County right now, has been on the ground more than 40 miles, probably even longer than that. Let's check in with one of the first people to report that tornado in Sequoia County between Vian and Gore. Fox 23 storm tracker John Hollingshead. And John, where are you and what have you seen?
I'm back at the damage path, the regional damage path. They're having a power issue right now. There was the trees are resting on a power line. I don't know if you can see my stream, but there was quite a bit of sparking. It's basically to the point of we're close to setting a tree on fire.
Hey, again, John, what we're seeing right now, this thing is ongoing. So what you saw 45 miles ago, still on the ground right now in northern, I'm sorry? Okay, so sparking power lines, that's what we're seeing there on the left side of the screen. So here is the tornado warned storm. Let me take a look at the high resolution Doppler radar. Again, very strong rotation located just to the east of the community of Chewy right now. Here's Flint Ridge State Park. This is going to be well to the southeast of Flint Ridge State Park. Thankfully to the northwest of the community of Chance, but we still have very strong indications we've got a tornado down with this storm right now in northern Adair County. Still a very pronounced debris signature right now, and these velocity images are just very strong too. So we obviously are not letting our guard down from this one. Now as this continues to move to the northeast, it's going to cross Delaware and Adair County line right here, which is just south of Highway 412. So at that point, we are likely dealing with a very close call for Natural Falls State Park. This will likely be fairly close to the community of West Siloam Springs. Now, if it does not turn, it will likely pass just to the west of West Siloam Springs. So here's the tornado right here on the bottom of your screen. Here is Mosley, Natural Falls State Park. This is West Siloam Springs. As we look further to the northeast, eventually this will move across the state line into parts of western Arkansas, but for now it is a very serious situation in northern parts of Adair County and moving into southeastern parts of Delaware County too. So this is going to be very close to Dripping Springs and Natural Springs State Park. And as that continues to move to the northeast, could be very close to, maybe just to the west of Siloam Springs. So this is going to be close to, let's see, as we look right in here, there's a church camp there on the north side of 412 as well, up toward the community of Mosley, and of course West Siloam Springs Fire Department out to the west of West Siloam Springs. But there is our circulation right here, and that's continuing to move back up toward Natural Falls State Park. And again, very serious situation right here. And as we check, debris starting to spread out just a little bit. That's actually a pretty good sign. Now, while we're still picking up debris, that may mean that the main push, the main forcing, throwing that debris up in the air, which would be the tornado, has weakened, and some of this debris is starting to settle out of the air. Oftentimes, that's what causes the big spread out in these debris signatures. So this is something that we're going to watch very closely, but we are certainly not letting our guard down. This is still a strong circulation. It's not quite as strong as it was just a few minutes ago. The debris is still evident in the radar beam. It's just spreading out just a little bit right now, and that could be a very good sign. Don't let your guard down, Natural Falls State Park or Mosley or West Siloam Springs, but at least we're seeing a little bit of spread here. And again, what that usually infers, but we don't know until afterwards, is that the tornado has stopped lofting new debris. The debris that the tornado had lofted previously in the air is starting to spread out and settle back down. And we're talking a lot of tree limbs and, of course, and leaves. A lot of times in this time of year with a lot of the autumn leaf fall, there's a lot of loose leaf on the ground. That makes great debris for these tornado debris signatures. They're very pronounced in the fall, but oftentimes what we'll see is this starting to spread out just a little bit as the circulation starts to weaken. Now, emergency management reporting Chewy Road shut down in Adair County right now because of damage. We did have an early report that Highway 62, U.S. Highway 62, was also closed at the Cherokee-Adair County line because of damage in that area too. Let's go back to reflectivity. And there is our tornado warning. So the southeast part of Delaware County, and Colquitt's going to be right on that zone. So east of Little Kansas, east of the community of Kansas, all the way over to west Siloam Springs, moving up into Benton County in Arkansas. Just want to give you a metro update because our severe thunderstorms have moved out of the metro. We still have some rain. We still may have a little bit of lightning too, but there is no severe weather threat left in Tulsa. This line of thunderstorms moving to the east still has severe thunderstorm warnings, but with that north-south orientation, we're not worried about any kind of significant or sustained tornado threat with that. We are watching this one in northern Adair County moving up toward Natural Falls State Park and Dripping Springs. That's where that really watching that circulation continue to develop. So as we look at velocity, again, right in here, this is what we're looking at. So that's the circulation. It is not quite as strong as what we saw before.
See, but that's a power line in a tree that's caught the tree on fire.
On our picture on the left side of the screen? Okay. So those are a down power line in a tree. So that's what we've seen a lot of. Again, looking right into the metro area right now. So, you know, if you want to just stop it and restart it, that might be the plan. Then you'll have to go into the other one and, you know, the routine. So, all right, that's what we're doing right now. So the rotation is just about to move out of northern Adair County into southern parts of Delaware County. Again, we look in the metro area. We are not having any severe weather or tornado threat in Tulsa right now. Do have another report of some power outages. This is closer to Fort Smith, too. So what we are still watching closely as we go back into this storm in northern Adair County, still very strong rotation. But again, if there is any good news with this, it's that debris signature may have spread out just a little bit. And again, oftentimes that means perhaps the tornado is weaker or has lifted. The threat is still there that this thing could produce another tornado at a moment's notice because this is very strong circulation right here. It's just now on the county line, just to the southwest of the Dripping Springs area and Natural Falls State Park. And that's what we're looking at right here. So the rotation continues very strong. We continue with a pretty good sized debris area. What may happen with this thing is the initial tornado possibly lifting and a new tornado developing as this thing cycles between an active tornado and then an additional tornado developing as the first one weakens. What you got, Phil? Two heavily damaged homes near Gore? Okay, so that's likely east of Gore. We've got tornado damage to a couple of homes here. Let's go back to velocity. And again, as we are joined by KRMG Radio with Storm Center coverage, we've got an active tornado warning right now in northern Adair moving into southern Delaware County. All of this has passed to the east of the metro area. This is where we could see an additional tornado form at any time. We can't confirm that we've got a tornado that has lifted with it, but we did see some signs that the debris spread out. Oftentimes that means the debris that's actually in the sky starting to settle out just a little bit. But there is still debris in the sky, and that means we could easily still have an active tornado. So this has been a confirmed tornado. We've had houses damaged in this in parts of Sequoia County and in Cherokee County, and now likely in parts of Adair County too, as this circulation continues to move to the northeast. But as it approaches the county line, it does appear that it is not as high end as it was just a few minutes ago. It is still a very dangerous circulation. We have probably not, we probably can't say that's not tornado debris being lofted, just that little speck right here. But let me tell you, on the outskirts of this damaged path, or even downwind, you may find a lot of debris that will be falling out of the sky from a long track tornado like this. And if you do, especially if you're finding pictures, try to hold on to those, because for a lot of people, that's going to be how they're going to kind of put their lives back together after having a tornado hit like that. So if you see any personal debris, let's try to gather that up. We can put it on social media, Facebook, and we'll try to reconnect that to the people that have had their homes damaged or destroyed by this storm. So as we look right into the Natural Falls State Park area, our circulation is still very tight, and it still looks like it's crossing 412 right now, and just to the east of just to the west of Dripping Springs and Natural Falls State Park. So you need to be in your tornado shelters right now in southeastern parts of Delaware County. That's Flint Creek right in here. As we look a little bit further to the east, there's the community of Mosley. This thing may pass just to the west of Mosley as it continues to move to the northeast. Now we still have, that's an increasing sign that we've got debris being lofted again. So what we may have had is one tornado lift in northern Adair County and a new one touch down. So we've got still a tornado down now in southern parts of Delaware County. This is going to move close to Colcord, probably staying just to the southeast of Colcord. It will stay to the southeast of Cloud Creek and Jay, Taunese area. That's where we're going to watch this circulation move to the northeast. Let me do an updated track on this storm too, just so you can see what's happening. Again, Tulsa area, we're in good shape here. In fact, the rain should start coming to an end in the Tulsa area soon, but we have had a major tornado move through Sequoia, Cherokee, Adair, and now moving into Delaware County. And let's give you an updated track with that center of circulation east of the community of Kansas, east of the community of Little Kansas. You might know it a little better that way. Moving up toward Flint, Taunese, Bloomfield, Ionia, and toward Beatty as well. So we have had now thunderstorm wind gust has hit 64 miles per hour in Stigler. This is the only tornado warning that is active in Green Country right now, and we're going to carry this probably, it looks like about another 20 to 25 minutes, and it will move out of the state into Benton County in Arkansas. But this has been a long track, very serious tornado, moved right up over Lake Tenkiller. A lot of folks with lake houses there. And so that has been a very serious tornado moving very close to the community of Cookson and doing some damage there, all the way from close to Quinton all the way up into sections of Delaware County. So this thing has at least had a tornado warning for 80 miles. It has produced damage off and on for about 50 miles. So it's been a long track tornado that has moved right across eastern Oklahoma, thankfully not getting into the Tulsa metro area, but unfortunately causing a lot of damage here. Let's look at high-resolution Doppler radar again, and let's take a little closer look. Again, we've got a big indication that we kind of had some debris lofted that spread out, but as we look at velocity right now, we still have some strong indications that we've got a tornado likely occurring just to the northwest of Natural Falls State Park. That's, as we take a look, kind of advance that just a little bit. So we're kind of moving up just the south of Colcord right now. This is well east of Highway 59, northwest of the community of Mosley. So West Siloam Springs, Mosley, it's going to miss you. You can come out of shelter right now as this moves to the north-northeast. So that is the circulation zone. It's a lot smaller as far as where those peak winds are. Remember, just 30 minutes to an hour ago, we had a very large circulation that was very high magnitude. This starting to shrink up just a little bit, but as happened before, it also shrunk up and then cycled up very quickly into a very powerful tornado. So we're going to continue to watch that. Let's check in with Fox 23 meteorologist Brad Carl. Brad, the good news is, at least in the metro area, things have quieted down. The bad news, we still have what is likely a tornado down between Natural Falls State Park and the community of Concord.
Yeah, certainly seeing that just continue to make its way on up into Delaware County now, crossed Highway 412, and it looks like Siloam Springs lucked out with this one, stayed a little bit to your west, but still in areas here near Flint Creek and north of Natural Falls State Park. And if it continues on its path, we'll come very close to Concord. So if you're in Concord now, you need to be in your safe spot. Absolutely. There, Roe, Tanis, I believe. Tanis, this community over here, right along the state line, right by Concord. So that's where we continue to see that circulation right there. It's just been very distinct now for 75-plus miles. Just keeps going. And then there's some of that debris signature we still see over here is lagging behind a little bit off to the southeast of Little Kansas, but that's generally the direction we've been seeing this go, is off to the north and east, and just continues on, still very pronounced. I believe we're now hearing thunder here in Tulsa. I think that's what that was, at least. Yeah. So we continue to see this over here. Here's that tornado warning for us, or for areas around Concord, now stretching out toward Concord, so it's right around over here, and I can actually label that here on the map, kind of give you an idea of roughly where we're talking about, right in there, and then continuing to push off to the northeast. And at a pretty healthy clip, too. So for the next 11 minutes, doesn't have it running into any particular communities there, but will come very close to Highway 43 and then start to kind of edge its way on into Benton County, Arkansas. So if you are south of Concord at this point, you can come out of your shelter. You're okay at this point if you're off closer to Highway 412. If you're close to Concord, though, hang on, and you certainly need to be in your safe spot now. This continues to make its way up to the north and east. This is the only tornado we have right now in the area. It really has been the biggest show in town, and certainly the most impressive rotation we've seen, not just tonight, but for quite some time, especially having it be long track like this and continue on for 75-plus miles. As far as where we're seeing that distinct rotation still, yeah, it's just right south of Concord. You can certainly see here the reds and the green. I will say it looks a little more broad than it did before. That's an encouraging sign, but it's still very, very bright in there. So if there is a tornado, it's likely right about here south of Concord and making its way up to the north and east. And thankfully, it doesn't seem to be a whole lot of communities between here and there. Of course, people live in between little towns, too, so we'll make sure they're staying safe as well. So we get a look at kind of the bigger picture of what's going on across the whole area. Certainly a lot in the way of severe thunderstorm warnings still. I did see some reports down to areas around Haskell coming out of the Mesonet. There was a gust there about, it looks like about 10, 15 minutes ago, around 65 miles per hour. So even though you may not be dealing with the tornado warning in town, you may be dealing with the very strong winds that we're seeing as a result from some of these very, very strong storms. I kind of zoom into some of these, and you just see it's just up and down the line. So, and even though we don't necessarily have a tornado warning on the rest of these lines here, you're getting winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour. That's as strong as a weak tornado. It can certainly do a fair amount of damage, too. But the only tornado warning itself that we have is the one out into Delaware County right now, which we can go ahead and zoom on into. I'll go ahead and put this back into play mode and then zoom you on into where we're seeing that biggest problem there. That certainly is the main focus that we've really had throughout the entire evening. As far as across the rest of the area, there's those rest of those severe thunderstorm warnings for us, but it's that one tornado warning that we have. I can zoom you on into it right now. The area is right just south of about, just a little ways south of Grove. I'll zoom us in a little bit more into areas right around Concord there, right around Highway 116. It looks like it'd be passing by very, very shortly. As far as what we're seeing with that rotation, there it is, still fairly distinctive there, but not, remember we were seeing maybe about 20 minutes ago, it was blue and red in there. Not seeing quite so much of that, so perhaps starting to see our first signs of it not quite as strong as it was before, and that is an encouraging sign, though still certainly a very dangerous situation for things. James, you've got to look at what we're still tracking with the storms and just what we've got still to go here in Oklahoma.
Yeah, as you were talking about, not quite as strong. In fact, we've been watching it weaken pretty quickly, and the tornado warning has finally been canceled. So the tornado warning canceled. As we look in the metro area, nothing taking place in Tulsa right now, but just to show you the length that tornado may have been on the ground, close to 60 miles. So started out where this yellow line is depicted very close to the community of Quinton in northeastern Pittsburgh County. It moved to the north-northeast, produced what may have been a little bit of tornado damage, weakened, and then quickly grew very strong as it moved into the river valley, produced a long-track tornado all the way with the damage close to Gore, crossing Interstate 40, and all the way into parts of southeastern sections of Delaware County. And because of that, we're close to 60 miles, maybe even longer, of a path length on this tornado. Also, we did have some fairly low-end damage, all things considered, in parts of northern Tulsa County with a brief spin-up tornado that happened just southeast and east of the community of Skiatook, crossing Highway 20 and Highway 75 right at that interchange, close to that QT. I think just on the northwest side, the QT on the east side of that interchange. So the tornado warnings, thankfully, as I look over at our big weather board that has the list of all the warnings in effect, all of our tornado warnings have expired, but we have Fox 23 severe weather team crews fanned out in the damage zones and even more on the way to the damage zones too. Let's check in with Clay Loney and Shay Rozzi. Clay, Shay, it's been a very unusual, very unsettled, and frankly a little bit of a scary night for November.
Yeah, absolutely, James. To listen to Chief Meteorologist James Adelot, Certified Meteorologist Brad Carl telling us this is a dangerous storm, life-threatening storm, images they've never seen in quite some time here in Oklahoma. To have a tornado on the ground for some 60 miles is just incredible.
Almost unheard of. It really is. And throughout the night, for the last more than an hour now, we've had reports all across the area as that storm has moved through, especially that big, strong one with that one tornado, of people seeing those power flashes, you know, losing their power, saying, is more coming our way? It's so good now that is moving out of our area. It has been a night of those strong storms. What a lightning show, and then the tornadoes that we thought could happen, and boy, have we seen them.
Yes, we have seen them, and Brad and James have been tracking them all night long, and so we want to go ahead and show you some of the video that our Fox 23 severe weather team has been gathering tonight. Look at the hail. This is what fell earlier tonight in South Tulsa. It looks like a pool is covered in the backyard, if I'm seeing that correctly. It's heavy rain and a lot of hail. And a
lot of the hail that we've seen had reported, and we've had some pictures, and it's about pea size, a little bit larger in some cases, not as large as we had feared could happen. Let's take a look at some of the other video that we've been getting across the area. This is the storm, the strong part of the storm that hit the Cookson area in Cherokee County. This is video that a viewer shared with us. You can see the lightning that was lighting up the night tonight. That's when they could actually see some of what was going on. The rest they were hearing. We actually have a crew heading right to that area right now to check out the damage that we know has happened there.
And we want to check out this video of the storms in Broken Arrow. Quite a lightning show there. You can see the lightning just light up the sky. You see the flashes, some there, cloud coverage too. Now, if you listen close enough, you can also hear some of the thunder rumbling.
All right, let's take a look at some more video. This is from Midtown Tulsa, the storm moving through that area. Again, Tulsa was spared the brunt of this, but it still put on quite a show for a while. It's near 19th and Peoria, as you can see. Again, lightning and thunder, the main parts of the storm there. Also hearing of reports of hail in Broken Arrow. One of our reporters shot this video here as it was coming down, hitting the windshield there. They're staying under cover. A video one of our storm trackers also captured in Weber's Falls in Muskogee County. Lightning has been lighting up the sky for, well, all night long at this point. Lots of places have been seeing this, but the main thing that we're concentrating on this hour is the damage in several counties, really, Cherokee, Adair, and Paslipa to Delaware.
Right, down near Gore, we've seen power lines down, igniting trees on fire, and we also have some more wild lightning. You see all those streaks there? Wow. This is near Sequoia County, near Gore, one of the first places to see tonight's long-running tornado. Our storm tracker, Greg McLaughlin, captured this video right around 9 tonight.
We need to interrupt our storm coverage just briefly. We have just heard and had confirmed that former President George H.W. Bush has died this evening.
Right, we were just hearing this news. One of our producers, who's also been juggling our storm trackers here, saw the confirmation and a statement from his son, of course, George W. Bush. And it's, you know, it's just hard when you're dealing with so much severe weather and the seriousness of this.
Right.
We have the statement here. Thank you, Jeff, on the phone. Let's see. It's a statement by the office of George H.W. Bush. George Herbert Walker Bush, World War II naval aviator, Texas oil pioneer, and 41st President of the United States of America, died on November 30th, 2018. He was 94 and is survived by his 5 children and their spouses, 17 grandchildren, 8 great-grandchildren, and 2 siblings. He was preceded in death by his wife of 73 years, Barbara, his second child, Pauline Robinson, Robin Bush, and his brothers Prescott and William, or Bucky Bush. Funeral arrangements will be announced as soon as is practical. Again, this statement from the office of George H.W. Bush that the former president passed away this evening.
We'll, of course, have much more coverage of his life and the impact he's had on our country and so many people, especially down in Texas. And we just couldn't pass up mentioning this at this hour, of course.
Yes.
We will get back now to our storm coverage with that in mind as we remember our former president. Let's go now to Chief Meteorologist James Adelot with how the storms move through the area and really in several storms you were watching tonight.
2 clusters of tornado warnings, one to the east and southeast of Tulsa. That's the zone that we thought the dynamics would certainly be a lot stronger. We also had a brief tornado warning from a rapidly developing little circulation that developed just south of Skiatook, past to the southeast and east of Skiatook, kind of crossed 75 at Highway 20 and then moved up toward Vera, and thankfully that fell apart. But that was the brief spin-up tornado that we thought would be a little more common across parts of northeast Oklahoma. Now, you can never expect a long-track tornado, even when conditions are exactly right for long-track tornadoes, but that appears to be what we had. Our first tornado warning happened southeast of Eufaula. That was very close to the community of Quinton with some strong rotation with the storm. We watched that storm move into western parts of Haskell County, crossed just to the east of Eufaula Dam, and when it moved into southern Muskogee County, started producing a tornado. Thankfully, the damage at this point appears to be a little sporadic, but we definitely had tornado damage. Our storm tracker, John Hollingshead, watched that tornado develop and move right over Highway 64 in front of him between Gore and Vian. So that was the point that this thing hit the ground. And then we have had damage and confirmed radar debris lofted up by this tornado up into the sky for more than 60 miles. I've got the line drawn at 59, but the tornado apparently lifted as the circulation fell apart very quickly just to the north of Highway 412 and just to the south of Colcord. So this has been a major long-track damaging tornado that moved across parts of Green Country east of Tulsa. Some of the damage basically along Lake Keystone, the Cookson area too, and of course our Fox 23 severe weather team fanned out in this area watching and looking for this damage, and we have had several crews and several of our storm trackers in some of the damaged areas. So let me show you the loop on this. I'm going to kick you back into the radar. We can actually watch that thunderstorm as it developed just to the northeast of McAllister. Let me push this over so you can get a little better look. And again, what we saw was that storm again developed very close to McAllister. I'm going to kick this all the way back 3 hours, and we'll bring it up to the current picture and start that loop. And watch the thunderstorm develop just east of McAllister. You saw the first tornado warning. There it tracked almost continuously with tornado warnings flashing on and off. And then as it moved north of about 412, we ran into a lot more stable air, thankfully, and that put an end to the mechanics of this supercell thunderstorm. But there it is, developed just to the east of McAllister. I actually tweeted right at about just a few minutes before the tornado warning was issued that the storm had a strong mid-level rotation and was getting characteristics of a supercell, and unfortunately that's what happened as it moved to the northeast. But you can see once the tornado warning started, it was nearly steady state as a supercell thunderstorm that moved all the way up to 412 and fell apart. Now, our continuous coverage of this tornado damage continues now on Fox 23 for our KMYT viewers. My 41, we send you back to regular programming. For now, we continue to track this line of thunderstorms. All clear, Tulsa and Bartlesville. The tornado warnings have all expired, but we still do have severe thunderstorm warnings, mainly for wind to the east of Tulsa. Clay, Shay?
Now we want to get to the other big breaking news of the evening.
Fox Network is now covering the